I'm a journalist. I can remember the sounds in the newsroom as I finished my article at one of the computers. I can still hear the sounds of the bustling, of the rushing toward a deadline. The shuffling of papers was a constant presence when you worked. Hearing that low hum, that din of action and activity, it's almost comforting to types like us. It was like a bass beat to the symphony of our lives. So, when you hear the words 911, you think of the number to call when you hear more gun violence on these Chicago streets. The smell that you smell the sulfur and the gunpowder, another sense that accentuates the center of the world around us. But on a beautiful sunny day like today, you come into the newsroom in the early morning, and that sound of action has yet to truly penetrate the ears of the reporters, with a styrofoam cup of coffee in one hand, crumpled pages of edited copy in the other. But on this sunny morning, that din was different, much more cacophonous, much more rushed, but still so hushed. I made my way to one of the TV sets along the main wall. All TVs were on different channels, showing different bits of news, though all suddenly seemed the same. I looked it looked like the newsroom was watching a movie as smoke poured from one of the Twin Towers. I tried to make out any of the voices from the TV sets, and then I witnessed a plane right before my eyes fly into the other tower. I stood there for a moment, transfixed like some horror movie addict, before I thought of our contacts scattered along the East Coast. I pulled out my cell phone and I tried quickly speed dial Mark in New York. He had a meeting scheduled in the Twin Towers that morning, but the phone was jammed, so I dialed up Don, who was in town there that week, but all was lost to computer-simulated voices, forcing me to leave messages and scramble from afar. As pathetic as we were, we stared at TVs as all forms of communications were then cut off for us. Was this an attack on New York? We struggled to discover until less than 40 minutes later, we saw the 2-second long film replayed repeatedly from a DC security camera that caught a collision course crashing of a plane through the outer rings of the Pentagon. Well, now the story has changed. Trying to get through to Dan in D.C. Was he there in the Pentagon today? The phones still cut me off, so we scrambled for any data, looking for a Chicago connection. The Sears Tower, the John Hancock Building, those are national icons that may be under attack. But before we could gain our bearings, only 25 minutes passed before a plane crashed into the ground near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Shanksville, I thought. I know somebody there. I searched and found Anna's number. But who was I kidding? Those lines were cut off, too. It's a strange feeling, being a reporter and not being able to contact a single person, being detached from any lead, coupled with a sickening feeling, a sinking feeling, wondering if any of the people you know are physically hurt or even alive. As a journalist, you really feel hopeless, like your hands are tied behind your back. We give the news. We're not supposed to feel so stranded. An hour after the Pentagon was attacked, the Sears Tower was evacuated. This wasn't my beat. I have no contacts and no one to help me through this disaster. So I waited there in case others needed any assistance. I sat back for a moment, left there to wait, thinking about Mark and Don in New York, Dan in DC, even poor Anna. I'm sure she's not hurt, but they're now cut off to me. As I said, all I could do was wait. Clear your head of the people. I could hear myself say to myself, you're a reporter. Just break down the details, what you see, instead of thinking of this is just another one of your human interest articles. All that jet fuel, the drywall, all that paper in those offices, those people trapped. They were all hydrogen, carbon, oxygen. But wait a minute. In Chicago, I think of the sulfur smell when it comes to gunfire. But jet fuel is sulfur-laden. That burning drywall emits sulfur gas. Sulfur is even the third most common mineral in the human body. I mean, I'm a newspaper reporter. I know that sulfur-based compounds are used in pulp and paper industries. Yeah, I'm a newspaper reporter. Just take a breath and turn your head to the stats. To clear my head of the humanity, the thought of so much sulfur being so much a part of so many details in our lives, made me think of the destruction that sulfur was so much a part of today. I know I stayed here to give a helping hand, but with all that sulfur on my mind, suddenly, all I could smell was the burning. And I couldn't stop coughing while I tried to catch my breath.